He thinks he's a genetically altered superdog, but he's really just a rescue pup lost in the real world. Today, we travel back to 2008 to see if Bolt still holds up, or if we're as delusional as he is.
The road will be rough.
I have a ball.
Easy won't be part of the equation.
Promise.
Danger at every turn.
I eat danger for breakfast.
You hungry? Starving!
Stick around to see if Seth can stump me with this episode's trivia question.
What was not one of the three pigeons in the movie? A, Bobby, B, Tiny, C, Vinny, or D, Joey?
And find out how are we going to rate this mid-2000s Disney adventure. Are you going to take it home? Are you going to watch it at Grandma's? Or are you going to hide it in the attic? So break out the hamster balls and get comfortable. It's time for another movie at Grandma's. Hello. Please come in. There's some fresh cookies in the cookie jar. There's a pitcher of Kool-Aid on the counter. Make yourself comfortable. Welcome to Movies at Grandma's House, where we'd love to revisit the movies from our childhood to answer the question, does it still hold up? Is it family-friendly enough that even Grandma can enjoy? And I'm your host, Isaac. No, not the claws.
And this is Seth. Are you mad? You don't know the power of styrofoam.
Oh, it is great to see you, Seth. For those at home, as a reminder, what is Grandma putting on for us to watch today?
2008's Bolt.
All right, so going forward, if you have not seen this movie, we want to make sure you have your proper spoiler warning. We're going to be talking about the plot, the story, all that good stuff. So from here on out, consider yourself warned. Well, let's get some more facts about this movie and some film facts. So Bolt was released back on November 21st, 2008. It had a budget of $150 million. The box office, $310 million. Looking around at some reviews, IMDb sits at a 6.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 90%. Letterboxd is a 3.2 out of 5. Currently, as of this recording, you can watch it for free streaming on Disney+. It stars John Travolta, Miley Cyrus, Susie Essman, and many more. It's an association with Walt Disney Animation. And last but not least, we have to hear, how does Grandma feel about this film?
Granny's family-friendly rating for Bolt is an A- for animated peril.
There you go. So we want to hear from you. Be sure to leave us a comment down below. We love to hear memories, ratings, and all that good stuff. So if you've seen this film, want to share your thoughts, be sure to drop us down a line below. Well, again, 2008. This was first released. That's just crazy. I feel like it was yesterday. I say that a lot on this podcast, but here we are. I have to know, what are your first memories with Bolt?
So although I'd seen some clips, I'm not sure that I'd ever seen this in an entire film. So those are my first memories. So it was really just fresh.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's films like that sometimes. This one, I would say at the time, it was the same way for me. I just saw bits and pieces of it. This is kind of an overlooked Disney film. It was in a different time period for Disney. They just came off of a stretch where they weren't getting those big hits like they had in the 90s. That renaissance is what they call it. So this was kind of them coming out of it and into the modern Disney that you think of, maybe Tangled, Frozen. This was before all of that. And I think it got missed. We're going to talk about it more, I'm sure. But that was kind of how it was for me. It wasn't really one of those like hyped movies. I don't remember much about it. Now, a few years later, I do recall watching it. I had a nephew at the time. There were little ones. So that was my first exposure to it by then. And I remember having a good time with it. It was like, okay, why did I miss this the first time around? It's a kind of a neat concept and all that good stuff. But with that said, again, this is going back then. This is kind of a fresh take for you. So what were your expectations going on to watching the film?
So just hoping that I would enjoy the journey, go sing along for the ride, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, for me, now I have 5 children. I'm up to 5 kids and 4 of them are able to give feedback. I was really excited to see what their thoughts would be. I believe some of them had seen it before, but all together as a family, just watch it. I was excited to kind of get together and watch it and get their reactions. This is one of those movies we'll talk about more. It's fun to see kids' reactions because it's not your standard Disney movie. So that was kind of my expectation. Just have a fun time. Let's go with it. Well, before we get to the plot rewind, let's pause just a moment to hear from our sponsors. Hey, love movies as much as we do? Then bring the experience of the theater to your walls with movieposters.com. Whether you're into the classics, the blockbusters, or indie gems, they have something for every single film fanatic. As a listener of our podcast, you can save up to 15% on your order right now. Just use code Grandma's House at checkout. Head to movieposters.com and let's build your ultimate collection today. All right, in this case, it came out more when there was DVDs. So let's do that. Let's take the DVD out of the case. Let's put it in the DVD player and press play.
Volt is about a dog who is the star of a TV series. Because of the show, he believes he has superpowers. He mistakenly is sent cross-country to New York, away from his co-star. With some help from a wild team, he must travel back to Hollywood to reunite with Penny. Get a snack, sip on Kool-Aid as Granny puts on another adventure.
Very nice. Yes, this is, again, in my mind, this just is a missed Disney movie. That's the feeling I get across with this. It's not anything you would really expect from Disney. It's got a simple animation. We've talked about numerous films up to this point of different animation styles. And I would say this is more on the simple side, but I like it. I like the style. It makes it different from your typical films. I will knock modern animation. They're almost cookie cutter anymore. You look at this, it sets itself apart even for its time. But I got to know, again, this is a fresh take for you watching this film. So what's kind of your first impressions?
For me, the first impressions was the animation was sharp. There was punchy dialogue, which I really enjoyed, and then fun characters, which made the story progress a lot better.
Yeah, the characters are going to be the driving point in this one. I don't think they're these in-your-face kind of characters. They're more subtle. There are some later that show up, but at first, they're more of your standard, normal, everyday characters, I guess is the best way to put it. Outside of Bolt, obviously, being this dog that thinks it's this real superpowered dog that's rescuing a little girl that's her owner, those types of things. But everybody else is kind of your everyday person. But I kind of like that. Again, I like the uniqueness of they just kind of went down to more simple. And we'll talk about it more. But going with you were saying of the characters, they have their own unique flair. They have their funny comedy because they kind of sprinkle in the comedy throughout. There's a lot of humor in this one. It might not be in your face as much. There's not as much of the slapstick. But there's a lot to be said of that. But the big thing that's unique is definitely the story. I think that's really fun having this dog that has superpowers and it's on a TV show and it's completely delusional. It's not like it knows, it's totally in the dark and everybody around this dog is trying to keep it that way. So what are your thoughts on that story? I mean, it's one of the more unique stories that we've covered, I would say.
So I had written down that it was a slightly complex plot, but I liked that. There was a lot of different facets to this storyline and a lot of little bits and pieces that built up what the story was. I love what you mentioned about them hiding it from the dog. I think that was really clever. It's not something you would normally traditionally see in a children's film. So I really thought that was a nice little clever way of doing this.
Yeah. That's what really sets it apart. I feel like if they did a more modern or your typical, the dog would know about it. It was just kind of a full in everybody that's an audience that's watching the show, not so much a part of it. So when he does get separated from Penny, he's working his way back. That's where it gets to be a fun adventure. That's where the comedy really comes in because he's still delusional. He thinks he has all these superpowers. And just by chance, he thinks like he has x-ray vision and things fall apart when he's trying to do it. It just so happens to fool him. I mean, that's what is so enjoyable about this movie is when you really get behind that. When you get into this is the comedy, the humor, I think you're in for a good time. It's something that my kids were chuckling a lot at. They thought it's a really fun story because it also has a lot of action. There's a lot of explosions. It's going back to he's got superpowers. So in the TV, they've got these special effects going on. I think it's really well done. The animation doesn't make it intense. That's going to scare kids. If anything, they're in on the joke. They know it's fake. They know it's staged. So that's also another reason I really like the concept. The story is, yes, it's got the action. It's got these things that normally entertain people, but it's in good taste. It's controlled, so to say. Did you get that impression as well?
Yeah, it was very well done that way. Yeah, I definitely picked up on that for sure.
Yeah, because if this was live action, I think it would be a little more intense. The animation is able to hide some of that. So if you're looking for, well, I'm a little concerned. I think it does it in good taste. There might be a few intense spots here and there, but overall, I'm very satisfied with it. I didn't have any issues on my side. We'll get to my kids' thoughts here later as well. But we got to open it up because, again, the characters, like we mentioned, they do kind of drive the plot. They drive the humor, obviously. So what'd you think about the characters, the voice acting, any of that stuff?
So I thought it was casted well, lots of great voices, but to tell the truth, I couldn't tell who the main characters were, and I hadn't seen this before, and I guess I didn't watch the trailers or whatever, so I didn't know who they were, and I couldn't pick them out either. So I was going into this completely blind, and I did not know until I actually looked up facts about the movies, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Right. I got the same sense. I knew who they were, some, not all of them, but some of them. And I thought to myself, like, that doesn't really sound like them. They're doing a good job. That's a me thing. I know not everybody might agree with that, but I have a lot of respect for actors that don't always just play their voice. They can. I'm not saying they can't do that, but I just appreciate it more, especially in a movie like this. Now, if it calls for, we just need you to be your normal voice, that works. But I mean, you're talking John Travolta. How many movies has he been in? And I didn't recognize him when I first saw it. I thought, okay, I wonder who's the voice of the Bolt. It wasn't until after, the credits rolling. I'm like, that was John Travolta. If you've never even seen his movies, you should hear that name and think it reminds you of something. He's just been around for years and years. And then you got Miley Cyrus, who at that time, I think she was big, but she wasn't like how she is today. She was more younger. So I could see her voice being a little more masked compared to today. But even back then, I was like, I didn't know that was Miley Cyrus. So I was kind of with you a little bit. Like the voice acting, I got to give them props. They match the characters really well. They are doing the voice characters who they're playing. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, I guess to go on further, I was kind of fooled by who they were. Like I didn't catch on. And I normally do when it comes to animated pictures. I'm like, oh, I know who that is. Like, that's it's usually really obvious to me. But this one, I was fooled. I thought they did an amazing job kind of, casting off, doing a different version of their voice. So they did a good job.
Yeah, like I was thinking to myself, the hamster's name is Rhino. Is that his name? Yeah, like I was thinking I should know that name, but it wasn't. It was Mark Walton was his name, and I'm trying to put that voice to it, but it was just similar. So then there's also where, yes, you should know this is John Travolta or this is Miley Cyrus. But then they also got ones that maybe you're not familiar with, but they do such a good job. Like I really enjoyed his character. That's probably one when you ask, what do you think of the characters? Obviously, Rhino is that big comedy relief that comes in much later in the film. It's might be my only gripe. I wish he was in there a little bit more, but he was great. What'd you think of Rhino?
Just with the quotes. I mean, like I looked at the quotes before the movie and I was just shocked at how many quotes he had. And they're all hilarious. I mean, it's just really well done.
Yes. He's a super fan of Bolt, so that's what I love too. You have like Mittens is the cat. Going back to the story, Mittens is the cat that Bolt comes across, and he forces Mittens to help him get back to Penny. It's in one of those, whatever you want to call it, storylines, mix of ragtag team of opposites. You have a delusional dog, and then Mittens is kind of this, I wouldn't call sinister, but she's intimidating and more serious. So there's great chemistry that bounces off of the characters. And then you throw in the hamster Rhino. I just loved it. I loved how he was just kind of that offset of, I'm a huge fan of Bolt, so I'll do anything. And he's just great. I mean, the characters are wonderful. I think there's a lot that you can enjoy with the characters alone. But the story, going back to that, that's also as well. What I have to go back to is making it really unique about the film. But yeah, anything else that you want to touch on or bring out?
I got a couple quotes, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
So the first quote, if I can get through them, was, "Ring, ring, who's there? Destiny. I've been expecting your call."
I love that one.
The second quote is, "That meat lover's pizza is not loving me back at all."
I think we've all said that about food at one point. They had to.
Do you have any quotes that you like?
Oh, yes. I mean, I've got a few. I kind of lost track. Honestly, I wish I would took better notes, but I love the pigeons. That's another characters that really stuck out to me other than Rhino. They were also kind of your comic relief because Mittens is threatening them. They have to bring food to her. So she's in trouble with Bolt. And the one says, "Hey, Joey, did we go too far?" And the other's like, "Are you kidding? This is the best day of my life." Just the delivery. Again, the voice acting is well done. The delivery, everything was good. I love the play on, it kind of goes throughout. It's the gag, but the styrofoam of Bolt is like, "Styrofoam, that must have weakened me." The way he delivered that, John Travolta, I gave him props. It made me chuckle for some reason. But yeah, there's so many. I just wish I would have kept track of them more. That's one of the things if you like films with comedy where it's kind of a rapid fire. Again, it's not in your face. I go back to that. They didn't really like throw it in your face. But if you're paying attention, you're going to be rewarded because there's a lot of things I think even adults are going to appreciate. It's not just kids. There's a lot, of course, that kids will enjoy, but that's something that really sticks out to me. The head tilt, it's not a quote, but like where he is trying to get food in that trailer park. I really laughed at that one because Mittens is like, you got to do the head tilt. And that is such a dog thing. Did you,
Yes.
as a dog lover, as an animal lover, what'd you think of that scene?
I thought that whole scene was clever. The different reactions from the different people, I thought that was really good too. But yeah, it's how cute is it and adorable is it when dogs beg for something? Oh my goodness.
And that's, of course, where you meet Rhino too. So that's a big scene, but I love that just the sequence of him begging for the food. So those are kind of the standout highlights, but there's a lot here. There's a lot of humor, especially, like I said, if you get behind it, if you understand what's going on with the characters and really get immersed, you're going to have a good time. It's a lot of fun. All right. Well, I think you got some fun facts. I'm interested to hear what you got.
Before we jump into that real quick, I got a couple scenes I really wanted to touch on.
Go for it.
So I loved how they did the character arc for Bolt. He starts realizing he's not super, but that's okay. The scenes where he's enjoying his journey are great. Also wanting to spend time with his new friends. It's very heartwarming how they did that sequence. Maybe showing him how he's really intent on getting there and then less intent on getting there because he's already got friends. And I thought that was really clever. Just well written. I don't know if this was a book before it was a movie but it was just really well written. That whole segment was just amazing.
Yeah. I like that too. There's got heart. There's heart in this film. We're talking about the humor and the comedy. That's what kind of sticks out to me. And what I recall when I first saw it, I was laughing throughout. But this has a lot of heart, and it has to if you're talking about a dog that's delusional about being the super dog, and he's willing to do anything to protect Penny, his owner. But then he comes to find out he's not. You see it coming. That's kind of the plot, that the climax, whatever you want to call it. It's coming. But they wrote it very well. I think it's got a lot of weight to it because sometimes you have stories like that and they just don't have a good payoff. I felt like this pays off very well. It just, it's coming, but it's still well done. I agree with you. Yeah. That scene is well written and how it's developed throughout. It just draws you in. Okay. Well, if you've got the fun facts, can you tell I'm anxious for your fun facts? I can't wait.
Yeah. I love it. So the first fun fact I found was the number on Bolt's dog tag was the address of Walt Disney Studios.
Nice. I love those little details. If you're paying attention, it's just fun. I don't know. I'm one of those suckers for those types of things.
Yeah, and I think animators are getting more and more clever with that kind of stuff. And it's pretty fun if you keep your eye out. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
The next one is to help the crew relax during the difficult schedule and also to help them see things from Rhino's perspective. A giant inflatable hamster ball was set up in the studio.
I love that one. Anything that you have to use your imagination and picture, I'm just hey, watch it, Ed. I'm trying to animate here. Sorry, I'm practicing being a hamster. I love that one.
All right, you're going to love this one too. The 3 pigeons Bolt encounters in New York are similar to those on the Animaniacs segment Good Feathers.
Oh, yes. I was thinking that in my mind, but I wasn't sure. That's great. That's one of my favorites in growing up watching Animaniacs. And yeah, that's a big side characters that they have because Animaniacs just has all these characters, but that was the one that came to my mind. That's really cool. And
to go along with that, I have a fun fact trivia question that's going to be right fitting. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. What was not one of the 3 pigeons in the movie? A, Bobby, B, Tiny, C, Vinny, or D, Joey? What was not? Who was not? Who was not?
Oh, man. Why am I blanking now? Because Bobby was a good feather. But then when you said it's based off of that might trip me up a little bit because did they really use that name? I'm leaning towards Bobby.
You want me to read them again?
I'm just going to go with Bobby. That's my instinct. So I don't want to linger on it too much.
All right. I hate to say it. It was Tiny.
Tiny. Okay.
Tiny was not one of the 3 pigeons. I came up with that on my own.
Very nice. I'm thinking Bobby was used, but they definitely used it for inspiration then because that was one of the... And then Vinny, I think, is based off of another role that Joe Pesci had. So that's where I was going with, okay, maybe that's one that you made up, but nope, you got me. Okay, stop.
Sorry. I wrote it too well.
You don't need to apologize. That's the thing, man. You get to keep track of how many times you can stump me. So I'll just have to come back strong on the next one. Very nice. Well, before we get to our rating, we like to look around the net, just see what kind of thoughts are out there. I'm interested with this one. We kind of talked about this one was a missed Disney movie. It doesn't seem like it's talked about as much. So, Seth, what kind of reviews you seeing?
So the first review I found was Simon_says_movies said, some of the most fun you'll have at the movies this year, 8 out of 10.
Very nice. So I think this has those fans. As much as it made pretty good at the box office, again, 310 million, but it does feel like a lot of people enjoyed this one. It's kind of a missed one. That's great though. 8 out of 10. That's a solid rating.
So the second one was radioactive_man21 says, but brings back true Disney, 9 out of 10.
Wow. 9 out of 10. Wow. Like I said, I think people really enjoy this one. So that tells you maybe the marketing wasn't good or just came out at a bad time. It wasn't a popular kind of genre or something. I don't know. That's
We've got another repeat offender for our third one. Ionic Breeze Machine says, Disney Animation finds their footing on their third attempt in 3D animation, 7 out of 10.
Very nice. All solid reviews right there, I think. I mean, we talked about it. If you like the humor, if you like just get into that world. It's a fun little world. So that doesn't surprise me. It's just surprising, again, it wasn't a flop. It just didn't do as well as you would expect. Disney was just kind of a surefire hit. And this was, I think, before it came back to its stature that you know it today, so to say. Maybe that's all it was, but that's really great. I'm glad people are able to enjoy it. We got some good reviews out there. Well, one other thing we like to do is we like to put movies through the kid test. So I have, like I mentioned, 5 children. One is not going to be, he's so young, he's more of a newborn, so he doesn't count. But for my others, they are age 10 and under. So got a nice little scope of age groups. My oldest being 10 years old, he said, take it home. He does not normally rate films, but he was like, take this home. I love this movie. He said it's one of his favorites. And
wow.
I think he just got behind the action in the story. So that's kind of telling you, even for it's about 10 years old, I was afraid maybe, he's too cool for school. I know around that age, certain movies, I wouldn't give it a chance. Not for mine. He loved it. Then my next is 8 years old. He also said, take it home. Loved this movie. He loved the animals. And I think that's what is appealing. Again, we talk about even pigeons are in this one, but you have dogs, you have cats, you have hamsters. If you like animals, I think you're going to get into this one. It's going to pull you in. So my 8-year-old, he loved it. He was giggling throughout. He had belly laughs at times, but he even said, I'd take it home. Not all of them always give me a rating. I got to really work hard to get the ratings out of them, but this time they were like, take it home. Then when it came to my 6-year-old, same thing, take it home. He said he loves the trains. He's into trains and the cars. So there is some scenes with like the trains, there's vehicles, and then explosions and action. So I think it appealed to him in that way. It drew him in. And then last but not least, my 3-year-old, he said, I love this movie. So clean sweep with this one. All my kids love this movie, really enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, I feel like this is a movie the whole family can enjoy. We talked about the jokes as adults. It's not that it's inappropriate. It's just that you're going to get it. You know, some things fly over their heads, but then on the other side, there's a lot of fun to be had with kids. They're going to pick up on the fun slapstick, especially Rhino. They were laughing the whole time with Rhino. They really, really enjoyed that. So there you go. I think that's a first for us so far. Of all of my kids were like, I love this movie. This is the first. So we'll have to put that down historically, some kind of record. Like this is the first one that we've come across. We'll see if there's more though. Well, let's get down to it then. Got to ask you the question, Seth. When it comes to the movie Bolt, how are you going to rate it? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to watch it at grandma's? Or are you going to hide it in the attic?
All right. So I had to watch this one twice because the first attempt didn't keep my attention. But that being said, on the second viewing, I got a bit emotional and enjoyed it. I'll watch this at grandma's, hoping to someday see it again.
Very nice. I'm going to say you make a really good point. I don't know if this is going to be a movie that hits you right away. Maybe for some it will. But I think this is another one of those. We've talked about a few movies. The more you watch it, I think the more you appreciate it. So this could be a kind of a surprise. I'm not quite going to take this one home. I'm also going to watch it at grandma's. I wanted to get that out of the way, but it's right there. It's like I was back and forth because I loved watching my kids react to this one. It was so much fun. I just kind of go with, I feel like maybe it doesn't draw you in as much. It's not one of those I'm going to watch it all the time. But anytime it's put on, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to watch it. It's really fun. Great humor throughout. I even like the animation. I know I've kind of given a knack on like simple animation. I've kind of bashed a little bit. I like simple animation, and this is a great example of it. There are times where the animation does show its age. It's 2008, but I'm not going to be sitting there like nitpicking it. So I really like everything about it. Maybe if we come back to this at some point, maybe I do have a take it home because I feel like every time I watch it, I like it more and more. But I just wanted to be honest. I'm not going to let my kids sway me completely. I really enjoyed this one, and it feels appropriate. I'll watch it at grandma's, come back to this one every once in a while, have a great time, just sit back and relax, laugh, and enjoy all the funny animal jokes throughout. Well, there you go, folks. We got another one in the books. This was so much fun. Like I said, with my kids, but this was a really fun one to kind of go back and revisit. 2008 feels like yesterday, but then again, when we think about it, it's almost been 20 years ago. So this was a fun one to consider. Oh, we're so old. But before we go, Seth, why don't you tell the good people where they can find and connect with us?
You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as TikTok at LADX Media. You can email us at moviesatgrandmashouse@gmail.com. We have a fantastic newsletter and a new updated Patreon to become a member. We're brought to you by movieposters.com, so use code Grandma's House at checkout for up to 15% off. I apologize.
That's a tongue twister right there.
It is, especially if you get that fast.
Say that 5 times fast, but yes. The links will be down below if you catch it. But good job, Seth. I commend you for all the links that stay out there. But yes, be sure to check out our newsletter, check out our Patreon if you want to support the podcast. We are growing, and we appreciate all you listeners, all you followers, because you make it happen. We have so much fun revisiting these movies, but we want to grow the community. We love hearing thoughts. We want to give our viewers shout outs. So at the very least, drop us a comment, drop us a line, give us any kind of memories that you have with this movie, others that we've considered, and requests, all that good stuff. Be sure to give us a message or a shout out in that way. Well, that's going to do it for our time at Grandma's. But don't worry, we will be back to visit soon. So in the meantime, remember to be kind and rewind. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.